Ngiyabonga kakhulu mfowethu Sengwa nodadewethu ukaMajosi.
Yebo.
Ngibingelele kubokhombiti bonke ngothi baba kakhulu ke ngicela ukukhuleka umengameli weqembu leNkatha eBulawayo nesigungu sakho sonke ngothi lwazi njengoba sethuliwe ngezibabalula ngamunye. Ngikhuleke futhi kubaholi bonke beqembu lethu kuzo zonke inhlaka kuze kufike emazikweni. Abangani beqembu lethu leNkatha nawo wonke umzi wasondini la sibuthene khona kuzobungaza usuku lwethu olubaluleke lomqwa kangaka. I greet you all today with a humble and heavy heart, wondering who am I to be standing here before you this morning. I'm asking myself this question, Bulawayo, fully aware that the place I'm standing at does not seem to belong to me, but rather those who are chosen in an of certain kind, totally different from myself. I say this as I welcome you, acknowledging that standing here before you is an honor made possible by your dedication, commitment to INkatha Freedom Party, driven by principles and values that were upheld by our founder, Prince Buthelezi. I welcome you with a sincere word of prayer directed strictly to him, His Excellency, as the pioneer of this path. Shenge, reflecting on the gala dinner organized for Inkosi last year before the elections, I pleaded with you and earnestly asked that you continue being with us just for one time. Indeed, Shenge, for the sake of your work, you listened to me and granted us with that guidance, which has led us where we are today. Today we acknowledge with deep emotions that again from Zwagali, you heed that plea and continue to stand steadfastly by our side as we once again seek your guidance before 50 years. I stand here today knowing that even in your death, Shenge, you still carry wounds that never fully heal because you gave everything to this party and this country, even when at some point some turned their backs against you. My duty today is to welcome all of you present here, the rank and file of the IFP, the friends of His Excellency and the people of Udlame, gathered here at Ulundi, the sacred heartland of our movement, where the very soul of the IFP was formed, nurtured, tried and tested in fire. We are here, Shenge, not only to celebrate 50 years of the IFP, but we are here to turn. We turn to the soil that carries our footprints. We return to remember and to reflect on a moment we have long grown for, a moment that we fought for, and the moment that we bled for. We are here with our hearts full yet heavy. Heavy, Shenge, because how do we celebrate when the very man whose hands built this house is no longer here to stand in? How do we rejoice when we know that the path to this day was carved with sacrifice, suffering and isolation? As we mark half a century of struggle, chance and betrayal, we also carry the wound that has never fully healed, Shenge. Since Inkosi, they broke your heart long before your body followed. You saw it in your lifetime. Shenge, you saw it all. The knives that came not from your enemies, but even those of your own. The whisper that turned into roar, as well as hands that you once held in trust, but later pointed at you in accusation. And yet you stood, you never shake. You stood when the weight of history pressed against you. You stood when you were called a traitor. You stood when you were in exile in your own country, isolated by your own. Shenge, can you see where we are today and where we are now? I know that you are listening from the place where great warriors rest. I know you hear us. I know you are watching over us and you still weep for this party. As I welcome these multitudes of people, can you hear again, Shenge, the voices of those who still carry your dream? Can you hear the footsteps of those who still walk the path that you paved? To some, Shenge, and most of us, this golden jubilee is a time of triumph. However, to me, it's just a painful reckoning with the past, the scars in the blood and the sweat, and the silent tears that brought us all this way. To me, Shenge, this journey of the IFP has been a journey of wounds and fire. And in that fire, there were those who stood with you when it was neither easy nor convenient, when others chose to abandon you. There are those who sang your praise by day, but conspired by night. There are those who sat at your table, ate your bread, and later plotted against your downfall. And yet you still carried them in your heart, because yours was not just a cause, but a noble cause. You loved even those who did not love you. But what have we learned from that, Shenge? Shenge, I welcome members of your party that you so dearly loved to this very defining moment where we speak truth about our past and redefining our course to the future. I urge that we also confront the weight, the legacy, and the name of INkatha as is. I urge that ourselves, all of us, we still carry the same heart, and that we become, I urge that we ask ourselves if we still carry the same heart, or have become a party that differs on its own, and that has forgotten the very foundations upon which it stands. Nonetheless, Shenge, we are still here because of the noble duty and the purpose that has been greater than positions, that with the belief that this party and this movement still has a future, only if we are courageous to continue fighting as we continue try to fight. With these words, I'm therefore taken to a scripture in the Holy Book about a stone that the builders rejected, which later became the cornerstone. As I welcome you the 50th celebration, which I refer to as being a turning point, I also ask that we take a leaf from this scripture, that should anything, if anything matters, through it all, we do not abandon the legacy of Shenge, and that we continue to uphold the values embodied. I pray, Shenge, that you guide us not to go astray, that we are not only here with our bodies, but with our minds elsewhere. I pray that we do not seek positions, but purpose. I pray that we wear the uniform, but also carry the cause. As the IFP, we are meant to be a lion of this country, politically speaking, and a force to be reckoned with, feared and respected. Shenge, help us not to become weak. Help us not to be divided, but give us courage and entrench us on the very same convictions and the core values. Otherwise, we risk fading into irrelevance. Allow me to speak to the youth brigade of this party, the future of this party, and by the extension of our republic. They must champion the future of this country and our greater nation. As young people of this country, remember that we are not ones to be manipulated for political convenience. As the vanguard of this party, and by extension this country, demand your place because you deserve empowerment, not exploitation. You should be uplifted and not be used only when you are needed, to be forgotten when you are no longer needed. Likewise to the Women's Brigade, also they must champion the same cause of our beautiful women in this country. You too, as Women's Brigade, also are not the shadow of this country, but you are its backbone. We are fully aware of the women of this country who have given their sweat, their sacrifice, yet they remain sidelined, treated as though they are not the foundation upon which South Africa stands. They must refuse to be invisible, because if that is the case, our country has no future. I am therefore pleading with all of us I'm pleading with all of us here, my dear elders and all my leaders, that let us not betray the cause. Let us not betray those who suffered for this party. Do not abandon those who gave their lives, who gave their integrity, and who gave their strength to keep this party alive. In your name, Shenge, I'm pleading that we become united with each other so that we can stand against our enemy. May we walk this path from now going forward, knowing exactly our enemy as you taught us. Which you taught us that our enemies were never our brothers and sisters, but poverty, diseases, and ignorance. Grant us power, sharing it. Grant us strength to overcome and to victoriously unite and keep this party alive. I also understand, Shenge, that there are those who are not here with us today, those who are cast aside, those who sacrifice and erase. Help us to seek them and secure them. If they are still there, help us to found them. Lead us the path where we go to them and let them know that they still belong to this home. Because the history of this party will never survive on sentiment. As we continue, before I conclude, with our program, may we all be reminded that the work of the IFP, which is what we're celebrating today, begins now. Yes, we may have crossed the Red Sea to Canaan, but the truth of the matter is that Pharaoh did not die in the sea, but some of his soldiers. Therefore, the real enemy is still there, alive, watching, waiting, and studying our weaknesses. And if we are not careful, the enemy will strike when we least expect it. I pray to you, Shane, as I welcome your soldiers to Ulundi. I pray that we stand firm on your legacy. I pray that you defend our name, and I pray that we carry your legacy forward. May history judge us, not by what we say today, but the actions that we do from now going forward. Shage, do not allow your party to die. Do not allow selfish ambitions to bury its future. Do not let the world question us whether we are worth of the greatest legacy that we have inherited. Comrade, if there is any truth left, if there is any honor, if there is any love left for Umbana, let us all rise, not for our sakes, not for positions, and not for personal gain, but for the cause that His Excellency lived and died for. In conclusion, I want to say Bulawayo and the collective village of the IFP, very gratified that you gave me this opportunity. That this IFP was celebrating its 50th birthday today is not the IFP of 1975, but this is the IFP that was founded, structured on the ideas of the very first movement in Africa, which is the ANC, as propounded by its founding fathers in 1912. As I stand before you, I want to address an issue that weighed heavily on Umbana's conscience until his final day. The profound need for reconciliation between the African National Congress and the INkatha Freedom Party. This division has caused deep wounds in our nation's history, and healing them is essential for the well-being of our beloved country. In humility, I appeal to both leaders of these parties to embrace reconciliation. Our founder, Prince Buthelezi, dedicated his entire time championing for this cause, recognizing that between the ANC and the IFP, if they don't reconcile, there is no future for this country. Therefore, I challenge every leader in our both organizations to try everything possible to heal this wound. Let us come together to mend the gaping wound, and that will ensure that a brighter and more united South Africa is envisaged. As we address this gaping wound, our aim is to transcend the historical facts correct, but instead, we need to do this in honor of those innocent lives who were lost during this struggle. Whose souls are on the quest to seek for eternal peace. As we take legacy forward, let us remember that we are not which is the fact that on our shoulders, we are carrying the rest of Africa and the diaspora on our shoulders. The question therefore is, not whether the IFP will survive the next 50 years, but whether the IFP itself can afford its absence or lack thereof. If the torch-bearers, which is this party we need to Lawan, if the torch-bearers, which is the rank and file of the IFP, is found to he will therefore champion the cause of unity and progress that our countries so dearly need. With these words from the founder, and to you all my leaders, I welcome you as we celebrate 50 years.